How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about Zlatan Ibrahimovic. And if I said his name wrong, it's not my fault. You got to blame the white man. But anyway, he is a striker for AC Milan, the football club. We know it as soccer over here in the States, but the football club over there in Europe. He said a few things about LeBron James and his political viewpoints. They got quite a few Jimmys in the bunch. Now, I think what he said was right on point, and I've been saying that about LeBron James for a very long time. LeBron is a basketball player, one of the best ever, right up there with Jordan, Kobe, Will, Magic, Bird, one of the best ever, basketball-wise. It's undeniable. But his political points of view are just ridiculous, and I don't really want to hear it from a guy like LeBron who was not a political powerhouse at all. But before I go any further, let's roll two clips. The first one would be from Zlatan Ibrahimovic talking about LeBron and other guys that are good at playing sports that, dip their toe into the waters of politics, and then you're going to see LeBron James's response. After we get done watching those, I'll come back. Then I'll give you the rest of my 2 cents, my deep, detailed analysis, and then I'll wrap it on up with a nice bow on top. So without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
You like going to watch basketball?
Yeah. I liked a lot, and he's a phenomenal in what he's doing. But I don't like when people, when they have some kind of status and they go in and they do politics at the same time what they're doing. I mean, do what you're good at. Do the category you do. I play football because I'm the best in playing football. I don't do politics. If I would be a politician, I would do politics. That is the first mistake people do when they become famous and they come in a certain status. Stay out of it. Just do what you're best at because it doesn't look good.
At the end of the day, I would never shut up about things that's wrong. I preach about my people, and I preach about equality, social injustice, racism, systematic voting, voter suppression, things that go on in our community. Because I was a part of my community at one point and seeing the things that was going on, and I know what's going on still because I have a group of 300 plus kids at my school that's going through the same thing, and they need a voice. And I'm their voice. And I use my platform to continue to shed light on everything that may be going on, not only in my community, but around this country and around the world. So, if there's no reason, I won't say no reason, but there's no way I will ever just stick to sports because I understand how this platform and how powerful my voice is. And he can just ask Renee Montgomery, if I would have shut up and just dribbled. Seeing that beautiful black woman today, be a part of a group where she's part of an ownership group now with the Atlanta Dream down in Atlanta. And it's funny he say that because I believe in 2018, he was the same guy who said when he was back in Sweden talking about the same things because his last name wasn't a certain last name that he felt like it was some racism going on when he was out on the pitch. Right? He did say that, right? Yeah. I thought he said that. So I speak from a very educated mind. I'm kind of the wrong guy to actually go at because I do my homework.
All right, yeah, saw that, you heard that. Now, I don't see any lies from Zlatan Ibrahimovic's point of view. I see no lies at all. What he said was right on point. He's like, look, I'm good at playing football. That's what I stick to. I stay in my wheelhouse, all right? I don't really like seeing guys that are good at football, we call it soccer, basketball, tennis, lacrosse, whatever it is, all of a sudden now become political pundits. Now, it's one thing if you're good at talking about politics and you're very, very well informed and you're kind of like post your career, then I'm with you 100%. But what happens is when you are still in the game and you're talking about certain things, it kind of just gets weird. It kind of gets weird, and you can lead and press more people down the wrong direction, all right? People watching you just for LeBron James, and he's the man, all this, that, and the third. But you lead these kids in the weird direction because it's like the blind leading the blind. And then beyond that, when I'm watching basketball, football, whatever it is, I just want to see basketball or football. I don't want to see politics. And I don't care if it's conservative politics. I really don't want to see it. I like what Tim Tebow is doing now that he's beyond football. He's just kind of going out there doing community activism, not even really political. Okay, not even really political. I see some ex-football guys getting into politics. That's great. You're beyond football. You're doing that now. You're reading and researching. You understanding what's going on. Great. But while you're in the game, I'm not trying to see you hit a three-point shot and get on the sideline talking about Black Lives Matter. I really don't want to see that because I did not watch the game for political commentary, all right? If I want to see you engage in political commentary, after you retired or whatever the case may be, go on television, start a blog, go on to YouTubes, and then do it that way. To me, that makes more sense, all right? Now, someone trying to call Zlatan a racist or whatever because he's white, although he's kind of almost not white because you're talking about a guy that grew up in Malmö, Sweden, but is not Swedish. He's originally from Yugoslavia. Well, he was born in Malmö, but his parents are from the former Yugoslavia. I think one of his parents is from Bosnia, the other, I forget. I don't want to say the wrong place and get, some type of conflict happening in the comments, but I know he has at least one Bosnian parent, but the other one is from the former Yugoslav somewhere. Anyway, so that's why his name is Abrahamovich. Now, going back to what LeBron was saying about, oh, well, wasn't it 2018 you said something about your last name not really being Swedish and there was some racism against you? What I was able to find about that is he said that his last name made it to where if he was to do something wrong in Sweden, then it'd be a problem. But if his name was, Thorson or Stenson or, a Nordic sounding name, he could rob a bank and it wouldn't be a big deal. Basically, there was ethnic racism coming towards him specifically, but not towards, Bosniaks or, it wasn't like a Black Lives Matter, hands up, don't shoot, and we're oppressed. It wasn't that kind of thing. It was about him specifically, all right? See, it's one thing to talk about your own life. It's a different thing to talk about politics in general. Like here on this channel, I talk about politics. I talk about Barack Obama, Joe Biden, Donald Trump. That's politics. Policies and the things that are happening around the world and around the country, that's politics. Not talking about me and my life. That's just me talking about what's going on with me. That's not a political thing, okay? Now, I don't know if this guy, Abrahamovich, is a liberal, conservative. I have no idea. That's not even the point. He might be liberal, but the point is not talking about politics and trying to wrap that up into your sports at the same time, all right? And that is a general idea. LeBron James always mixes the political stuff with sports. Post-game interview talking about Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, I can't breathe, all this and that and the third. I don't want to hear that from you, sir. All right. And then he says, well, I'm very educated. I know about what I'm talking about. It's funny how when Daryl Morey, the now former Rockets, I think it was the general manager, the GM of the team, he put out a free Hong Kong tweet. Now, I've said this before, the National Basketball Association, the NBA, have deep ties with China. And when that tweet came out, that's a big no-no because China recognizes Hong Kong as just a Chinese city, not a sovereign place at all. So when you say free Hong Kong and you got ties with communist China, oh, you can't do that. So he was forced to, I think, delete that and apologize. And then LeBron James said, oh, you shouldn't say that. You're uneducated. You don't know what's going on. Oh, he's uneducated to talk about that. So you want to defend communist China, but you're so woke and all this and that and the third. I can't tell. Okay, I cannot tell. Not at all. Why was he uneducated to talk about free Hong Kong? Like, what was wrong about that? You can disagree, but why was he wrong about that? A lot of what LeBron James says does not really make sense if you really read and research what's happening. Regardless of whether you are on the left or on the right, he is not necessarily very informed about politics. And I think that was the whole point. LeBron, like I said, LeBron James, one of the best basketball players ever. Probably really the best player in the game right now. Even in the 17th season, just a monster, a beast. You know, he has the size, he can drive, he can shoot, he can block, he can do pretty much everything. Pass, great assists guy. He can lead the league in every category if he wanted to. So, great basketball player. but stick to what you're good at rather than trying to get into politics where you're not very good. I think the point was made pretty well. People tried to connect it to Laura Ingraham, shut up and dribble. I mean, that's her opinion. Why is that racist? Why is it racist to say, hey, shut up and dribble, shut up and sing, which was the name of her book, by the way, shut up and sing, meaning celebrities are not really trying to hear from you. And especially when you're not really educated about what you're talking about. It's one thing if you are very educated about what you're saying, like to the point where you're better at politics than you are sports. There's some guys that are like that. But LeBron James is not one of them at all. So what he said was right on point. The whole racism thing, I think not. That's not even really what's going on. You're talking about a guy that is, former Yugoslav, grew up in Malmö, Sweden, and a rough type of life. That's not even him. Okay, that's not even really him from what I've been able to read so far. I could be wrong about that. You guys let me know in the comments below. But this race car, as I close, this race car is getting really played out. All right, we've been swiping it over and over again. And at a certain point, them race car tickets, the balance on the car is going to just go negative. And we're not going to be able to use it anymore. And I feel like LeBron James and guys like that are wearing that race card out. They're wearing it down to the bone, down to the bare naked plastic. And it's not going to work anymore. Any ATM machine, any white privilege conference is going to stop working. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? Do you think that Ibrahimovic was being racist towards LeBron James? Is he a hypocrite because he was talking about racism towards him in Malmo or in Sweden in general because of his last name? If that's your viewpoint, let me know why in the comments below. How about LeBron? Does he need to just focus on basketball and not all this random political stuff, all this blackity black woke stuff? If that's your viewpoint, let me know why in the comments below. You guys pretty much know where I stand. These athletes and celebrities, talking about politics so much, I'm kind of getting tired of it, especially when I'm watching sports. It's one thing when I'm not watching sports and or the person in question is away from sports and they're talking about politics and they're very well educated and they have information about what they're talking about. That's one thing. But I don't want to watch the NBA Finals or Super Bowl or something like that, and then right in the middle of it, I get with a commercial talking about Black Lives Matter. I'm not trying to see Black Lives Matter T-shirts or a basketball court with Black Lives Matter on it while I'm watching the game. How about I just watch this and enjoy this and not have politics, whether left, right, center, or anything else interspersed into it? Is that so much to ask? But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.